Hey, what's going on? So I want to talk about a few things as they flow. And as usual, this is thoughts of Leandre. And if you vibe with it, you vibe with it. If you know, you know. If you don't, that's okay. Um, this ain't for you. Um, you fellas, you gotta remember it is extremely important that you don't get off track of your vision. Now, sometimes you're not doing what you're supposed to do, and you find yourself in a conundrum, and you're not able to do what you need to do, or you feel like you're not able to do what you need to do because you got to tend to some other things. But that's not true. That's not always true. When it comes to your vision, remember, there is nothing that comes before that on this earth. So if your vision is, since your vision is number one on this earth and it ain't even close, then nothing should stop you and get you off your vision. Let me give you an example. Let's say things are going good for you and you decide you want to start a business. All right. And you start a business and you start having success. Then the moment of adversity and you're not doing well in your business and you need to pay your bills and you need to pay your rent, pay your mortgage, or whatever it is you got to pay, you're not making that type of money in your business. But you know that your business is your purpose. You're going to have two choices. You're going to think with your feelings or you're going to think with your logic. Now, logically speaking, you're supposed to stay on your purpose. Even when it's even when the storms are rough, it is up to you to find the eye of your storm. See, everybody wants to hate on a storm, but sometimes a storm comes into your vicinity to blow things away from you that you can't get away from you. And if you're in the wall of the storm and you're feeling the brunt of the storm, sometimes it's because you're sidetracked. You're off your rocker, you're off your purpose. So, what do I mean by that? You're doing your purpose every day. What do you mean off track? Sometimes when we have some early success in our businesses or in our endeavors, we let off the gas. We can't let off the gas because don't attribute your early success to yourself no more than going to a particular spot to go fish and catching a bunch of fish. It just may be your day. And the worst thing that you can do if you want to go get enough fish to feed your family for the day and you have an opportunity to catch enough for the week, don't pack it up because you got what you need and you're ready to go. Catch everything that you can for the time that you are supposed to be spending doing. There are some days that I work a full day and I don't get anything. And then there's some days that I work a quarter of the day and I get more than I got all week. And that's how life goes. You don't know the day of harvest, but every day should be a fishing day. Now, as men, now I'm talking to the married men with children. Sometimes your house is running smooth, and then sometimes your house isn't running smooth. And you might need to get in there and get your house straight. And it's human nature. Every day is not going to be a perfect day. Every day, things aren't going to go the way they're supposed to. And some days, people are going to forget their fundamentals and things are going to unravel and fall apart. Sometimes it falls apart right away, and sometimes it's a delayed effect in terms of falling off. But nonetheless, you're in that position for a reason. So you need to make sure that you get your house in order. And when you're getting your house in order, trust me, you are going to upset, frustrate, make angry, and sad the people that are in your household. As a man, your wife, your children, um, especially if they don't see it quite like you see it. As a man by nature, I don't try to think far ahead. I don't. Like I'm not like I'm saying I do try to think far ahead, but without even trying to think ahead, I think ahead. I'm always thinking about if I do this, what are the ramifications for this? What are the pros and what are the cons? I'm always thinking like that. Women can think ahead too, but it's a developed skill that they have to be able to think ahead. Because by nature, they don't think ahead. They think with their feelings. They think about now. They think about what makes sense now, and they don't think about what makes sense tomorrow. They're less concerned about tomorrow, and they're more concerned about what can get me the quickest result that I like today. And the problem with thinking that way is you could be solving one problem, but you could be creating several other problems. And I want you to think of a dam, and it's got a hole in it, and water's leaking through, and then another hole, and water's leaking through. And you say, I got to stop these holes. So you take one hand and put it on the dam, and you take another hand and you put it on the dam where's the two holes. And then now you feeling good because you just stopped up the holes. Didn't really think about the fact that as soon as you take your hands off, you're going to have the same problem. But here comes some more problems. The pressure not being able to get through these two holes. There goes a third hole. Now you're playing Twister. Now you're trying to reach it with your foot. And go to fourth hole, the fifth hole, the sixth hole. And the pressure is just going to create more outlets for that water to come through and break through the dam. And if there's enough holes, the whole dam will break. And then anything that was in front of it will be washed away. And that's a lot of pressure. And to be washed away by a lot of pressure, it could kill you. So that's the danger of thinking with our feelings. So feeling based thinkers need protection. Logic is the protection of feelings because it is human nature, whether you're a man or a woman, to want to think with your feelings. But men have this thing called logic that they filter their thoughts through, their emotions through. And then it helps filter out, if appropriately done, all of the impurities of the decision that you were going to make. I remember one time I got off my purpose. I was doing my business and I was struggling in my business. And I went to go get a job. Pretty amicable. Oh, I'm sorry, not amicable, but pretty admirable that I was willing to go get a job. Most people, most guys in my situation would have had their pride and their ego in the way, and they wouldn't have went to go get a job. But I did whatever I had to do because I wanted to make sure I was doing what I need to do to take care of my family. But what ended up happening is I created a loss of momentum in my business, a momentum that wasn't so easy to recapture. I spent so much time trying to recapture the momentum that I already had going in my business than I did making money. And when I started working at this job, I didn't work at the job too long before I realized I was causing all kinds of problems. It was keeping me away from my family in a different way. Now, when I'm in my business, I can be away from my family, but I'm in control of my time. I can always come back to my family. So I can be away from the house all day and all night doing my business, and then I can come home. Nothing's the problem. I could have another day where I'm intending to go all day and all night, and then something comes up at my home. I can easily go without asking questions to anybody to go do that. I can easily go home and I can do that. If my wife needs to see me, I can easily go home. But if I'm on my job and my wife needs to see me, I can't just cut out. I could lose my job for cutting out during the time that I'm supposed to work. So that was a problem. Another problem was when I would come home, I was so darn exhausted from how taxing it was to work for somebody else. And I'm not saying it's not taxing to work on your business, but mentally it's more invigorating and motivating when you're working on your purpose. But when you're working on somebody else's purpose, that indeed tires you even more. So I would come home and I would be too tired to deal with my wife and to deal with my children at all. And if they needed me during the day, I was not available. Number three, I was exchanging time for money. And as I said with my business or any business, you don't necessarily exchange time for money because you can go out there one day and spend a amount of time and get this result, or you can go out there the next day and spend a amount of time, same amount of time, and get that result. And it's unexplainable. The only thing the way I can explain it is every day is not a catch day, but every day is a fish day. There was once in my business, I had made like $150,000 in my business. And when I made that $150,000 in my business, the sad thing about it was 120 of it came in 1 month. So on paper, and it was one of the most difficult years because I was trying to transition to something else. So on paper, it looked like you did pretty decent for yourself. But circumstantially, since there was 52 weeks in a year, there were some lean times because of my transition. And when you're going through changes and you're going through growth, there's going to be some withdrawals. And we were going through financial withdrawals. I'm trying to tell you. And it just baffles people that know how could you have that much? You must not have been smart with your money. I wasn't smart with my money. It's just that coming from a working class mindset, if I say $150,000, you're thinking, oh, you made $12,000 a month. Who couldn't live off like that? Well, I wasn't making $12,000 a month. I was making what I was making, but I was making majority of my money in like a few chunks. And because it was new to me, I ended up having to learn how to manage that new way of life. And I made mistakes. Not to mention, when you have a family, it's funny because if you've ever been in lack, you start to really, really evaluate what you really need and what you really can do away with. And so when you're in lack, there's certain things that you like to do, that you say you need to do, or whatever the case may be, you're confused about your wants and your needs. But in those times, you start to really let go of the unnecessaries. But when you get money, if you're not careful, you will start to push your wants into the category of needs. And boy, we need to eat out. Boy, we need some clothes. Boy, we need some shoes. Now you might have all the shoes you need, but now all of a sudden you convinced yourself that something that you want is something that you need. Like, I know I have shoes, but I don't have that color. I need that color because I need to be able to wear it with A, B, and C. We need to go to the theme park. Like it is an experience that we need to have as a family. So we need to go. But when you're broke, you're saying it's not going to kill us to not go to the theme park. So what I'm trying to say to you today is sometimes it's things that we contribute to cause us to have storms, and sometimes storms are inevitable. You could be doing everything right or wrong, and when a storm comes, it comes. You can bring on a storm. Like if you have too many hot days, that's going to bring on a storm, right? Inevitably, it's going to bring on a storm. That's what we see. But then sometimes, have you ever heard of it raining out of nowhere or storming out of nowhere? Like you didn't see any storm clouds, but all of a sudden it just rolled in so fast. You didn't even look up and see it. And all of a sudden you hear a loud clap. Boom. Like what? Unexplainable. Now, usually something happens to bring about a storm, but then every once in a while, whether you noticed it or not, it's unexplainable why the storm comes. And it's tough and it's hard. And I know you want to hold on to your cars. You want to hold on to your houses. You want to hold on to your possessions. You want to hold on to the things the trinkets and the things that you like to do that cost you maintenance, this, that, and the other. But I'm telling you, no matter how good you got it, you have to be willing to let all of it go. Like if you lost everything, I'm not saying that that's cool, but you have to have a mindset in your life in general that you're not attached to anything. Because when it's time to leave this earth, you can't take any of it with you. So if you got to get up, if you got to give up something to be able to make it, that's what you have to do. And don't care about what people think because you could do everything that people want, that people want, and they still will talk bad behind your back. Misery loves company. I would even go as far as saying misery will compliment you as long as you are miserable too. And misery won't compliment you until you are as miserable as misery thinks that you should be. Look, I don't want to spend too much time with that. But what I want to say to you men, to you fellas, to you head of houses, I don't care what nobody says. We have history as a civilization uh, that goes back hundreds of thousands of years. Okay? And this bull crap that we're doing today, this men being more like women and women being more like men and women evolving into total opposites of what they've been for hundreds and hundreds of years. This is relatively new, and it's new, but it's not so new that we haven't seen the results of it because this really started in the 90s. This movement of independence by women, and now we've seen the results. The verdict is in, and we see what it has come to, and we see it hasn't been working. It has turned many of women into the cat lady, the lady with all the cats or dogs, the lady who is old and by herself, the lady who has who has many accolades, traveled many places, had many experiences, and feel the emptiness because those things didn't satisfy her like she was told that it would. You know, the lady that ruined her 20s. They got a video of a rapper, Glorilla, encouraging women in their 20s to be as toxic as possible, as if we don't have evidence of what being toxic in your 20s turns into. Rest in peace and shout out to Kevin Samuels. I'm going to make a reference about him. And he said, a woman that's 21 years old and a man who's 21 years old, who has more value? The woman. What about a man and a woman, respectively 25? The woman. A man and a woman that's 30. A man. A man and a woman that's 35. A man. 40. A man. Then he interrupted, I believe, at that point, and he said, is there ever a point moving forward after the age of 30 where women will get back in the front as more valuable than man, same age? And the answer is no. It's no. Women are born, men are not. Women are born, men are made. Just because you're a boy, you get 5, 10, 15, 18 years old, you're a man. No, you do not become a man. You do not grow into a man naturally. There's a lot of work to becoming a man. And everybody who's 18 that is a male is not a man. Everybody who's 25, 30, 35 is not a man. What makes a man is the shadow work when nobody's watching that he does to build himself and his skill set to be able to provide at a proficient level, to protect at a proficient level, and most importantly, to be able to guard himself and be a man of great discipline. Now, discipline isn't, I do what you think I should do. Discipline is, I do what I need to do with consistency. So if you're talking about a man, if he chooses to be with a lot of women, and you say he has no discipline, he's not a man. When it is so hard for a man to get a woman today to take interest, and a man can have, he can look really good and are really attractive to a lot of women, but today's modernized women, they don't care about that as much anymore. I mean, they like it, but if she doesn't see that you got some motion going for you, she won't even give you the time of day. If you look like you're walking, she won't talk to you. But if she see your car and it's rare, she has a change of heart about you. She can be totally not attracted to you. You can actually be an unattractive man. And what gives you the confidence to talk to her is you know you got what it takes to take care of a woman. She won't give you the time of day. But if she see your unattractive self get into a vehicle that she likes, or she's never seen, or she always wanted to get in, she will all of a sudden become interested in you. Don't believe me? Go on and look at these videos. Go look at, I encourage you, in one word, go on Facebook and type in London's Way. Go on Facebook and type in Nate Got Keys. Go on there and look and watch it. And it's the same thing every time. And then if you're a guy or girl, just think about how you interact with people. If and what you'll notice is the more beautiful a woman is, the worse she the worse she is. And what contributes to that? Guys who normally can't get women, who will trick off or simp off for a woman. Since there's so many tricks and simps out there, women can get away with that type of behavior. As men, if we listen, as men, we are to get to know ourselves, find out what our purpose is, live out our purpose, and not chase women. Like, don't even chase women. You see a beautiful woman, she looks good. If she crosses your path and you want to speak, hey, that's one thing. But if you see a beautiful woman and she's not on your path, don't break your path to go and talk to her. Because the type of women that want you to chase them are the type of women that will take your strength away from you. This is whether you're a Bible reader or not, this is biblical. Now, like it or not, believe it or not, even though the Bible isn't an original document, and it was taken from different types of Dead Sea Scrolls and um, old Sumerian tablets and things of that nature. Even though it's all that, those stories are true. Those stories teach a lesson. So whether real or allegorical, these things really teach you real lessons. And that's what we don't want to get away from. Real lessons. You're not supposed to chase women. If you get, I'm telling you right now, the things that we chase today are actually made to be attracted to us if we are moving in the right energy. Some of you are trying to attract this, that, and third, and the energy that you're operating in is actually pushing it away, causing you to chase. You just got to flip it and you got to operate in the opposite energy because opposites attract. So if you want positive, then you got to have a negative charge to the ways of things in the world. You can't be doing the things of the world. What the world is doing is negative. I mean, what the world offers seems positive. And if you are moving positively with the world, meaning agreeing with the world and doing what the world tells you to do, then the things that you want to attract, which you find to be positive, are actually, money, women, or whatever the case may be. Those are going to give chase because if you take a positive charge and a positive charge, it's not gonna stick. It's gonna push away from each other. And so if it's going over here and I still want it, then I'm doing this. I will never catch it, but I'll always chase it. So on the contrary, so what are the ways of the world? The ways of the world is relax. Let it come to you. Don't do anything. Relax. Whatever your flesh feels like doing, just do that. If you feel like sleeping, if you feel like smoking, if you feel like drinking, go on and do that stuff. But if you go against what the world says and you are negative in terms of where the world is going, you're going in the opposite direction, then you will create a magnetic charge that attracts everything that you were chasing. It'll attract to you because those things, like beautiful women, they love the fact men chase them. A lot of them do. I'm not talking about it's not a 100%, but most of the women that are very gorgeous, they're getting told they're gorgeous at some point in time every single day that they go out in public by somebody. So when you're first getting compliments about something, now I can't attest to that. I'm not a woman, and I don't think that I have the type of looks that would make people swoon over. over me just by itself. I'm not a bad looking guy, but by the same token, I'm not a woman. That's what a woman does. When a woman tells me that I'm a beautiful or handsome or whatever it is they use, it's kind of like I'm taken aback by it. I'm like, for real? Thank you. But a beautiful woman, when she's first told that she's beautiful, it's like when she's eight, let's just say she's been cooped up, and all of a sudden she's 18 and she's turned loose to the world. When people start telling her she's beautiful, she's more gullible. Oh, really? You think I am? And they're attracted and they love that attention. And it's not until they start noticing, I'm getting this attention from everywhere, that they become less tolerant and less gracious. Oh, you look good, girl. Girl, you look good. Mm. Thanks, not interested. I got a man. No, I was just, you know what? Never mind. Good looking women, they get tired of the compliments. Some good looking women don't even like to be in public because they get so sick of the attention. If they're getting enough of it, attention for a woman is a cup. When it's empty, she's one way. But when it's full, she's a totally different way. That's why women cheat by merely getting attention. If she's doing things to advertise herself to get attention, then she's cheating. Men don't cheat like that. It has to be a physical thing for men. Oh, it's a double. Well, we're just wired differently. We're built different. I'm not going to go into that part. But what I am going to say here is you are just supposed to be focused on your purpose. When you're focused on your purpose, you're gonna get the attraction. And then when you get the attraction, then you can make your choices. But you got to work to become a man. And real men are attractive to women. Real men. It's not something that you got to explain. It's just something that is understood. Real men they walk in an authority that women can sense, and they are drawn to that. When a woman is drawn to you because you're on your square, don't get off your square. En- Entertain how she can help you along the way with your purpose. And if she's willing to go and she's willing to ride, always remember this: a woman's choice is who she submit to. A woman's choice is who vision she's buying into. If that's not a part of her thought process, she's going to get what she deserves. But if a woman understands her role, that's right, role, because every animal in the animal kingdom has a role. Every every living being in the ecosystem has its role. And if we are no different. Men have their roles, women have their roles. It's just accepting that men are of their roles. We have to accept it, or we're going to be canceled. But women don't accept their roles. It's offensive to tell a woman, typically today, you have a role, play your role. And what is the woman's role? She's to be the companion and the helpmate. And I don't care what kind of abilities she's got outside of that. I don't care what kind of talent she got outside of that. Some of those talents and abilities may be put to good use. But if those talents and abilities she's using not for her family, not for her husband, then it's a pointless and it's a useless thing. Because she's supposed to be linking up with somebody who she finds worthy of following, who she finds worthy of submitting to, who she finds worthy of being a companion to, and who she finds worthy to be a helpmate to. Once you got somebody that's helping you, not telling you how they're going to help you, no woman can tell a real man how she's going to be to him. No, she's going to find out from him, what do you need me to be, without asking. But her posture is, what do you need me to be for you? Or I'm going to observe what you are doing and I am going to help where I see you weak. He may be the greatest, he may be a great salesman, but he might have poor organization skills. And she might have great organization skills. Like I said, that's an ability. Now she's using organization skills for herself. It's like not having an ability at all to that man. But if she takes that ability and she links it up, she syncs it up to him, that's help. And now he's a great salesman. And now because of his organizations, and now because she's given him organization, his sales, same amount of work, but his sales grow. See, real men, see, the misconception is real men don't need no help. Real men don't fall on hard times. Real men don't go through anything. We do go through things. We go through things sometimes. Listen, I am the breadwinner for my family. I am the sole breadwinner for my family. But do you think that even though I'm the sole breadwinner of my family, that I'm not conscious that any day something could happen to change that? So do I want a woman who's just going to sit back and live off an embarrassment of riches that I go out there and I work for and she doesn't do anything? No. Do you think I want to be with a woman who wants to, or me for any matter, anybody? You think that a man wants to be with a woman who the only thing that she does every day is non-income producing activities? Like it might not be her role to make income, but it's an opportunity for her to use her creativity at a low risk. Because if she tries something and it doesn't work out, it's not the same as if she tried something and she was on her own and there were folks depending on solely her. She had to be more calculated because the risk would be more grave. Listen, if a man's got it going on and he's handling his business, he wants his wife to use her creativity to try things within the confines of their relationship that she normally couldn't. It's like some of you bros out here who's living at home with your parents or whatever the case may be. I don't have a problem with you living at home. It doesn't matter what I think. If the problem is not you living at home with your parents or your grandparents or somebody else. The problem is what a beautiful opportunity you have to not have to pay as many bills as if you were on your own. So whether you're staying at your parents' house and paying nothing, whether you're fighting because you got to pay $500, $600 every month, your mama's asking you to give you that, give her that, and go buy some groceries or whatever it is in between. When you're in that situation, you don't have the same responsibilities as you do when you're on your own. They had this video of this girl. She was married to a man, and he got to a point where he said, I need you to pay 30% of the bills, and I'm going to pay 70%. He was looking for that help. She was so mad with him that she left him and divorced him. Speed up. Now she's paying 100% of her bills, and she has two jobs. Now, what would have been easy? Paying 30% or paying 100%? And in her eyes, I ain't taking care of no man. You're not taking care of your man. You're helping him. Or you ask a woman, do you believe in 50-50? I don't believe in 50-50. But you want these lifestyles and you think that you're going to just wait for your man to do everything, figure it all out. And in most cases, you don't even want to be with him while he's in the process. You want to be at the finish line when he get there and then reap the benefits. Like this is the trivial way of thinking when you think with your feelings. That woman thought with her feelings. She felt like it was a slap to her face to pay 30% of the bills. And it probably still doesn't register that she's paying 100% now on her own. Meanwhile, old boy probably up the street with another woman who was willing to pay more than 30%. And that freed up money so that he can go and do something with that free money. Money that wasn't available to him, that was tied down, now available. He can go and he can purchase more leads for his business. He can buy some more equipment for his business. He can hire more people. Now he's got some income to hire some people for his business. Your feelings make you short-sighted. And fellas, if you getting into your feelings a lot too, you short-sighted too. Case in point, when a guy let me give you an example of a guy getting into his feelings. He gets upset, he gets mad at another guy, and he pulls out a gun and he escalates the situation and he kills that person. And then now he's in court. The judge is sentencing him and he can't take it. He falling out on the floor, he crying, he carrying on. And I don't have no sympathy for him because, or he's in court trying to plead insanity. Even if he wins and pleads insanity, his life still isn't going to be the same. He's probably going to be somewhere sedated in a halfway house. I don't know. But always in your feelings, you do things and you don't think about the cost, the possibilities. If you consider what you're doing, if you even consider what you're doing, you're only considering the good outcome. Like, I'm gonna go rob, I'm gonna go rob a bank, and after I rob a bank, I'm gonna have a whole lot of money. But did you think that when you rob the bank, you could possibly get caught and you could possibly get shot and killed, or you could possibly go to prison and not come home for a long time and be away from people that you love and you care about? Now you went to rob a bank and you robbed a bank because you wanted to make sure that your family had some food, but then you didn't think about it. You that's the best thing you could come up with. Best thing you come up with. And back to you ladies. You got a man who's taking care of everything for you. You don't have to do anything. If you were on your own, you'd have to do 100%. But now you with him, not only do you not want to contribute in that regards, but you don't even feel like it's your responsibility. You feel like if you take away any other 100% of the responsibility of provision and protection, you feel like if you take away anything, you are basically emasculating your man. No, you're not. You're a team. Some of you will work, make good money, and you'll get with a guy and he's got enough money, and next thing you know, you're quitting your job. You don't even want to make any money. You'll let 24 hours go and you are doing non-income producing activities. You can't take 2 to 4 hours a day and do a income producing activity like trying stuff. Nobody's telling you to be risky. Nobody's telling you to wage it all. But what we're saying is if you could, all of the different things available to you. Now your husband falls on hard times, and the first thing you're thinking is, I got to go get a job. We're in 2023, and you, in your mindset, is thinking the only way to solve this problem is to get a job. When you literally got millions of things that you can do from home. You can even play video games for money. Did you know that? You can play solitary, you can play bingo. I'm not suggesting, but I'm just giving you an example. There are things that you can do that you already do that you can make money for. All you got to do is get in a mindset. I'm going to monetize whatever I'm spending my time doing. Do you know that they will pay you for watching videos? Do you know they will pay you for watching movies? You watch movies. Why don't you do that? I tell my 10-year-old that all the time. I say, babe, why are you playing this video game so much? Why aren't you trying to play video games for money? Let's just use this example. I'm gonna give you two examples. And if you've heard my videos before and you've watched me at length, you probably heard me say that. If you haven't heard, here it goes. Let's take a man named John and a woman named Jane. And John makes $50,000 a year. Why do I say 50,000? That's probably the average income in America. Guy makes $50,000 and a woman doesn't work. Okay? Let's just go with that. Since our modernized women still want traditional man, let's go with it. That man makes $50,000. She doesn't work. She stays at home. She takes care of him. She takes care of the kids. She takes care of the house. Cool, got it. Every Friday, every 2 weeks, he get his paycheck. He comes home. I'm saying it like it's the old days, but let's just say whatever he makes in 2 weeks, he comes home and he gives it to his wife. And she's supposed to take that money and she's supposed to take care of everything that needs to be taken care of. The only difference is Jane is out there paying half the bills, paying minimum balances, so she can create more money, so she can shop for her bags and her shoes and this, that, and the other. Not even thinking it's going to catch up, but that's what it is. Even if that man don't break down, that's going to break him down. But if that man gets sick on the job or sick in general and can't work or he's out of work for a while and their income is depleted, they don't have anything they don't have anything invested. They don't even have anything saved. They'll lose everything. Why? Because he gave her that money. Now, if he doesn't give her that money, she's got a problem. It ain't my money, it's your money. All that other stuff like that. It's just like this man is making a decision. He's saying, I don't think you are good with money, so I'm not going to give you that. Maybe one time he did give you some money and you blew it, and then he said, I'm not going to have you do that anymore. I'm talking about the repetitive robot man that even if you're not doing what you're supposed to do with his money or the money that he brings home, he's still bringing it home to you. Now, watch how if a woman is a true companion and partner with her husband, watch how the manifestation happens. Same scenario. John and Jane. John makes 50,000. Jane's a stay-at-home. John comes home with the money. Jane gets the money. Jane thinks to herself because she's not using her feelings. She's logic. She's exercising discipline to develop the use of her logic. And she says, okay, we are not going to waste any dollar that comes here. My husband makes a lot of money. Oh, my husband makes all of the money. And I'm going to show reverence and appreciation. And I'm going to show myself to be a good steward over the money. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the fat of things we don't need. We're not going to get streaming television. We're not going to get cable television. We're not going to get the internet. Like these are things that they're nice to have, but for right now, my plan is I want to make sure that I'm growing the money. So cutting down the expenses, making sure money is spent where it's supposed to be spent, and being able to invest a portion of the money and save a portion of the money. Just just this alone will create an environment of peace for that man or help contribute to that, and he's gonna want to he's gonna be able to endure longer. So let's just, for the sake of argument, let's just say that every year of the 50,000. Now, this is just simple math. Don't get, oh, well, taxes, this, that, and the other. I'm just using simple math. Let's say his take home is 50,000, okay? So if his take home is 50,000, then he's making $4,166 a month. So if he's making that a month, and let's just say their bills come up to, for the sake of argument, let's say their bills come up to half of that. Okay, so they got a little over $2,000 left. And she says, I'm going to put $500 away every month for a rainy day. And I'm going to put $1,500. Or you know what? I'm going to take $500 away for a rainy day. I'm going to take 100 and give it to myself. And then I'm going to take 100 and give it to my spouse. And I'm going to take 1,300 and I'm going to look for conservative things to invest in. I might put a little, I would diversify my portfolio. I might put a little bit in the stock market. I might put a little bit in a crypto. Crypto. I will probably, I might put a little bit of it into like insurance, this, that, and the third. Okay. And then I'm going to keep an eye on what is performing more or what is performing better. And as I do, I'll move some things around. Oh, I've built up some money, this, that, and the other, whatever the case may be. Let's just fast forward it 1,300 in investing in 5 years. Now let's just say in 5 years, you know, John got a little sick and he had to miss some time from work. He had to really tend to himself, so he wasn't able to work. But in 5 years, just in investment dollars alone, we ain't even talking about the interest that they earn. Just in investment put away is $78,000. So now we know that there's going to be some interest on it if it's conservative investing, right? And where people make a mistake is they try to go for the big moneymaker. No. What we want to do is we want to say, hey, listen, at $78,000, let's say for the sake of argument, it turns into 125. Okay? So it's 125,000 in investments, and then $500 a month. There's $30,000 put away in rainy day funds. So now you got 30,000 plus 125,000. You got 155,000. Now he's stressed out. He's like, I'm not able to work. What am I going to do? I need the time to recover. She can look at him and say, babe, I was hoping this day wouldn't come, but we're all right. We're ready. While we try to figure out our next move, we should be able to take care of our bills. While we try to figure out the next move, we got enough saved up for a little over 3 times your salary. What is that man going to look at his wife and say? But today's modernized woman, if she is working or if she is putting money away, she ain't thinking about nobody but herself. She might be thinking about the kids, but in her mind, she's thinking like I don't have to do anything for my husband because that's not my job. I'm not taking care of him. Yet he's making it possible for you to be able to save money. I never understood that. Your money is my money and my money is my money. I never understood that. That makes no sense. Well, your money is for the paying bills and my money is for other things. I'll be able to go shopping, things that we need for the house, this, that, and the other, whatever the case may be. It's like if y'all are really a team, sum up your money, sum up my money, and that's our money. Let's put it on the table. If I make 50,000, if you're working and I'm working, I make $50,000. I don't care what you make. Whatever your number is, whether it's equal, less, or greater than mine, is the summation of how much we make. So if I make 50 and you make 30, damn it, we make 80. If I make 50 and you make 100, darn it, we make 150. And we bring it all to the table. We take care of our responsibilities. We invest X amount, percentage wise. That way you can skip, no matter what you make, it's already set. We put this amount in a percentage in the rainy day fund, and then I break some bread off for me. I break some bread off for you. You want to keep it even, keep it even. For every 100 I get, every 100 you get. We keep it even. And then that can be your money to go do whatever you want to go do, as long as it doesn't hurt family. But yeah, like to me, it's a no-brainer. But it's like we get together as a couple, and it's just like one of us just all of a sudden just have no zest to do anything. You'd have to do everything on your own 100%. But when you get with somebody, you want to contribute 0%. You didn't want to work in the first place. What makes you think that your man wants to work because he's a man? No, a man has to work and a man do what he has to do. But men don't wake up in the morning and say, oh, Joy, I can't wait to go to work and do this hard or difficult or uh, dangerous job. Like, I can't wait for that. I used to crawl into houses for a living. You think I woke up every day and said, I can't wait to crawl over the next snake. I can't wait to crawl over the next dead carcass that's underneath the house. Dead possum, dead rat, dead mice or mouse, whatever the case may be. No, I didn't do that. I did it because I had to do it. I look back and say, why did I do that? But I did it because I love my wife. I love my children. So we understand you don't want to work. Congratulations. None of us want to work. We tell ourselves that we want to work, or we try to find something, or we try to find the fun in the silver lining of work. Whether it's some of the guys we hang out with at work, whether it's some of the things that we get to do at work. I used to when I worked as a when I used to work as a home inspector, I used to like the part where I was driving because it was like a sanctuary for me. I used to like meeting new people. I mean, I didn't like the job. I just liked aspects of the job. Nobody likes just over broke. Nobody likes that. I'm just telling you. We don't like it. I don't care what man say. I love working. You love working for your purpose. You love working because of what it brings your family, but you don't sit there. If you had no family and no responsibility as a man, you wouldn't be doing the things you were doing. You wouldn't. And if you say you are not normal. You are an anomaly. And we are not, what we're not about to do is make an anomaly the normality. I don't wake up doing that. Now, what I do now, I do it because I like doing it. But if I didn't have to do it and I could still get the money, I wouldn't do it. You telling me, listen, if you wake up and have a choice every day, you wake up and you do the things that you want to do. You do the things that were fun. You do the things that made you happy. That's what you would do 100% of the time. You wouldn't take a vacation. Oh, I'm so tired of being happy. I just need a vacation from happy. No, you would never take a vacation from happy. You take a vacation from work because you don't like that thing. You don't like it. Some of you got these men out here, man, and they busting their hump to provide and to protect. And as I said before, a man living in 1970 versus a man living in 2023, it is no comparison to burden. The man in 1970 in comparison to 2023 is holding a tennis ball versus a weight ball. It is not the same. The average house, a house in the 70s versus a house today, 15,000 versus 436,000. You think the income is rose as much as the housing cost? Rose as much as the gas cost? Rose as much as the food cost? Rose as much as the utilities? A man back in the 70s was paying on average $108 a month in mortgage. Today he pays 2,000. And I'm pretty sure somebody here in this video is paying more than $2,000 easily for a mortgage. You got to start thinking about the fact that, ladies, you can't pick and choose how you want to help your husband. You just got to be willing to help your husband in any way that you can. Because if your husband is showing the commitment to you and your family, and especially if it's a broken family, like especially if he took you and them kids, them baby kids that don't belong to him, that be telling him every time he try to get on them, you ain't my daddy, and he taking care of them jokers, and you won't help him, yo, I hope he leave you and you turn into the cat lady. You deserve to be the cat lady. You deserve to be old, alone, by yourself, needy, and nobody helping you. I'm sorry. I don't have no sympathy for you. And right next to her is the woman who goes out there and she does work, she does make money, but she spends more time thinking about okay, well, this money will be for me. I'm getting my hair done. I'm gonna keep my nails done, and I'm gonna keep my shoes. And then I'm gonna look at my husband when it comes up, and I'm gonna say, I don't ask you for this, and I take care of my hair. I take care of my shoes. I take care of this. I take care of that. Child, you're able to do that because he freed up your money to do so. If you brought your money to the table like you were supposed to, it wouldn't be that easy. But see, you don't want to bring your money to the table because you don't you want it to stay easy. Some of you are bragging. When he ain't got it, I'ma help him. I'ma get it. No, what you do is if you're of the ilk of I take all of my money and I pay the bills and everything, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your money, you're gonna give me a cut of it, and you get a cut of it. Because I'm making it possible for you to have your money freed up. So the same amount of money you give me is the same amount of money you give yourself. And then the rest of the money, investments and savings for us. Not your account, not my account, the us account. Because if we decide that we're not going to be together, it won't be any argument. Whatever's in the investment accounts, we'll split it 50-50. See, when it's us, it's 100-100. But so, but when we split, it's 50-50. And look, I'm not saying that every good marriage is a marriage that lasts until death. Some good marriages last for a little period of time. That's why I think every 5 years, when you become a new person, you should sit down with your spouse and you should reevaluate what it is that you're looking for to get out of the relationship and what they're looking for. And if you guys bump heads and can't come to any conclusions amicably, you decide to split everything down the middle and leave. And really and truthfully, a man don't even need half. All he need is his dignity when he leaves. Because I'm going to tell you straight up and down. If one day my wife came in here and said, Lee, I just don't want to be with you anymore. You just don't do it for me. I don't care how her words come out. The result of it is she just doesn't want to be with me anymore. Oh, I wouldn't say I won't have. Okay, we're splitting everything down the middle. I ain't doing that. She can have a house. She can have the cars. She can have anything. Just let me get my clothes so I can have something to wear. Let me get my essentials, and I'll get back on my feet. You ain't got to leave. I'll leave. Shoot, because I want to be there for my kids. If you let me, I'll just sleep in another room in the house, or I'll sleep downstairs. Because I think our children should wake up every day. And if you want to go out there and you want to date, if this comes to that, you want to go out there and date, the only thing I say is don't bring around my kids. And I won't bring anybody around my kids. Because we don't have to be mean to each other if we're not going to be with each other. We can just decide we're not going to be with each other. We can be sad about not being with each other. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to sit there and we're not going to destroy each other's lives because of the sadness we feel of us not working out. The bitterness. I'm going to do this to be bitter. Okay, if you're successful at being bitter, what kind of Cracker Jack prize you get out of the Cracker Jack box? Nothing worth anything. It ain't worth nothing. Making another person miserable at your expense. Nah, that's dumb. You should want your partner to be happy whether it's with you or not. So if it's not working out between us and you think it's better over there yonder and you want to go, all I ask is that you understand the road that you're going down and the possibilities on both sides. And if you can make peace with a scenario happening, then you are free willy, go. But don't get down that road and what you didn't consider happens and it's too much for you to deal with because you're just going to deal with it. Because I'm not going behind anybody. And you know what I mean by that. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing else except the sacrecy. I'm not going to, that is, as the Bible says, that is, what's the word? It's deplorable. That's not the word, but it is disgusting. Oh no, oh, it's an abomination. Look up that word if you don't know what it means. I think you do. But if you don't, look it up. An abomination. That's what that is. For you to let your wife go and she let some other man run in her, and then somehow she realized the errors of her ways. Because most women that are in their feelings, they always learn the lesson after the fact, but they don't recognize and realize that after the fact doesn't change the fact that it's never going to be the same anymore. I respect a woman if she wanted to get away, spend some time with herself, and she didn't allow another man to get near her. That's fine. But a woman that's gonna go out there, leave her husband or leave out of the marriage, and then go out there and she sleep with this one, sleep with that one, they don't work with this one, they don't work with that one. She collecting bodies, she collecting all kinds of things from this guy and that guy, whatever the case. She can't bring it back over here. And I'll love her. Like I'll be like, man, I really want you to come back, but I can't. That's an abomination. And make that clear to her before it happens. So when it happens, there's no excuse. It's like you knew that that was an abomination. I had told you plenty of times that that would be an abomination. I told you when we were separating, if you wasn't, don't be with another man unless you sure you don't want to be with me. Because once you're with another man, you are surely not going to be with me. And don't lie about it. Because what's dark, what's in the dark comes to light. You got a man and you uncomfortable because he's asking you to commit 30%. He's asking you to put in a couple of hours a day in some income producing activities. He's asking you to make some money from home, write some articles, make some money, watch some videos, play some video games. Just make some money. There's no way that you can put in 20 hours a week of work, 20 hours a week. Let's just say 50 weeks out of the year. There's no way you can put 1,000 hours a year and not make any money. If you made $100, if you made $10 per hour that you work for 1,000 hours, you'd have $10,000. If your man is the breadwinner and you were able to put away $10,000 in a shoebox for 5 years, that's $50,000, and you didn't do nothing else with the shoebox, you just sat there, even though inflation would erode it. But what I'm saying is, if you made $10 for every hour that you worked from home, when it all added up, that's $10,000, $50,000. He can't go back to work. Y'all got a year's worth of income that you could use to live off of while he recovers or while y'all figure out the next move. And if you wanted to, really, you could cut some unnecessary things out and you could probably stretch that $50,000 even further. But y'all don't get it. Y'all don't think like that. That's why, fellas, you gotta set the tone in your house to be like, you ain't here to think. I'm the thinker. And if you And I'm not saying women can't think. I'm just saying if a woman's thinking with her feelings, she disqualified. Be like, look, you want to think? You're going to use some logic around you. It's going to make some sense. But if you're going to sit there and you're going to use your thinking with your feelings, you are exempt from thinking. I just need you to just listen to what I say, do. And if you don't want to listen to what I say, do, there's the door. Any woman that's sitting there saying, I ain't gonna do what my man tell me to do. Like that's a woman that's saying, I don't need to be married. And it's okay if she don't want to be married. You want a woman that's gonna follow your lead. A woman that's gonna say, whatever you ask your woman to do, as long as she's not compromising the integrity of her character and who she is, and it's for the benefit of the family, as long as she is, it is, you're asking her to do something that's beneficial for the whole team, she should be willing to do it. And I'm not telling you to tell her to go out there and do something inhumane. I don't ask my wife to do inhumane things, and I don't ask my wife to do things that I don't think she can do. I don't even ask my wife to do things that I think she may fail at doing. I only give my wife things that I know she can do because my wife is responsible for my peace. My wife is responsible for running my house. My wife is the general of my house. My wife runs the house just the way she wants. I don't even I tell my wife what I want. My wife, she comes up with how she wants to run it, how she wants to do it. But when it comes to things that pertain to my vision in particular that I need done, whether it's something filing, whether it's something from a reception standpoint, whether it's something to go get, whether it's something to bring back, whatever it is, if I'm asking my wife to do it or I'm asking my children to do it, I expect them to do it. Keep your murmuring and all of the stuff like that to yourself. Just with a straight face. Just say, okay, yes. And see, some of y'all think this is archaic. Some of y'all think, oh my gosh, what time frame he lives in. The time frame that worked. Because this thing that we doing right now, it ain't working. Tell me it's working. Because it ain't. For every one thing that you show me that's working, I can show you 10,000 of them that ain't working. So don't make the anomaly the normality. Stop it. And for goodness sake, stop trying to band with the girls when it's convenient for you and disassociate yourself with them when it's not. So if I say women do this and you acknowledge that they doing this and it ain't good, don't be sitting there telling me, well, I don't do that. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about generally. Generally. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to wrap this up now. Ladies, follow your man. Let him lead you. Stop following any old man. Follow the man that's worthy. Be with a man that's on your be with a man that's on your level. Stop thinking just because you're sleeping with him that's your standard, that's your level. It's not about how many men you can have sexual access to. It's about it's about what kind of man you can maintain. You could be sleeping with this dude that's a baller, this dude that's a drug dealer, a scam artist, or whatever it is, an actor, or someone who's getting legally or illegally a lot of money. You can sleep with that guy because of your beauty and this, that, and the other. And whatever you are on the rating system, you're enhanced when you put on makeup. That's why you put it on, because you want to look as high of a best as you can. And that might get a man who has a lot of money or a lot of clout, that might get you to sleep with him. But that's not your value. Your value is, can you keep him? Do you know what it takes? Do you have what it takes? Because if you don't, you just slept with him. You just became another body and you got another body. Them guys that be in your DMs that you ignore, you would never tolerate him speaking to another woman so much as speaking to another woman. But that dude, that baller that you sleeping with, you know he got other women. And you know it ain't a dang on thing you can do about it. You want a man to be faithful to you, right? You want a man to be only you and only you, right? The best thing you can do is stop waiting at the finish line for these finished products and find somebody that you can find somebody in your 20s. If I'm talking to you, if you're in your 20s, find somebody in your 20s that has good potential, and along with good potential, moving in that direction at a progression that's acceptable. That's your best bet. Because at least if you grow with him and y'all get to that finish line together, you'd always be able to have in the back pocket, you were a part of the process, and you'd have some justification for some entitlement. See, my wife, she's justified. Met my wife when she was 21. She justified. I think, yeah, 21. Yeah. Let me see. Hold on. Let me do some math. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. She was 22. I was 23. She saw my potential and she saw my work towards the potential. Because I want nothing. I had just fell off. I had nothing. But she saw the potential in me and she saw my mindset and she saw my aggression towards uh, my goals. Now, realistically, I'd say a woman in 6 months can know if a man is about something. So if you sit down with a man and you talk about, what's your goals, what's your dreams, this, that, and the other, and they tell you, and you watch them, you don't even need 6 months. You can see if they're working towards their goals. Somebody telling you that something is important to them and they spend zero time in doing it is just feeding you lies. Feeding you lies. Nobody loves, desires, or passionate about something and they spend zero time about it. It's funny to me. I mean, I remember growing up and I remember talking to Christians and they would say, "Ooh, I love the Lord." And then you put yourself in a situation where you're in a situation where you're around this person for a long period of time or stretches. Let's just whatever it is. And then you notice this person don't even pray. I don't ever see this person pray. This person don't read the Bible. This person ain't said a scripture to me. How is your faith important to you and you're not putting time into it? I love my kids. I love my kids. I just love them, man. Yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy. Yeah, that's my girl. That's my girl. You ain't never around your kids. When you got an opportunity to be around your kids, you opt for something else. Nah, nah. Your kids aren't important to you, but it's politically correct to say so. You like the reaction when people say, "Oh, you love your kids." Oh, like they supposed, at least they're gonna think I'm a good father. You ain't a good father to try to be a good father for other people. You a good father because that's what you have to do. That's what you're supposed to do. I don't get no kudos for being a good father. You're supposed to be a good father as you should be a good mother, respectively, ladies. So if you don't take nothing else from what I'm saying, all I'm saying is wake up every day and be the best partner you can be the best helpmate you can be for your husband. Be as good of a listener as you can be for your husband. Look out for your husband. Make sure you keep your husband on the right track. Make sure that your husband has a clear mind, a full stomach, and some empty balls. It's amazing why they call it post nut clarity. It's post nut clarity because when you got a lot of nut to let out, you can't think straight. My brother used to tell me a man can't stand and a man can't think when he's erect. In so many words. A man can't think because all of the blood rushes from his head and his feet to his Johnson. But look, y'all go ahead and do whatever y'all want to do. I'm just telling you this crap y'all doing today ain't working. It ain't. You better get back to what works. Nature already has our roles lined up for us. And the better we are at aligning ourselves in every conceivable way with the natural order, the better we're gonna be. Y'all keep going against the grain, y'all gonna prove something. Y'all gonna prove that you're exception to the rule. Go ahead, stupid, and have a nice day.